event gets feedback. There are surveys that are sent to participants, and we get feedback about what went right, what could be done better, and we incorporate these comments in future events. And basically, the ultimate goal is to have an increasing number of potential applicants attending these events and knowing more about AUC.
Okay, so in your point of view, what makes AUC graduate studies programs distinguished from other programs offered in Egyptian universities?
Maybe there are two ways of looking at this. Collectively, I think graduate programs at AUC benefit from all the resources that are available at AUC and which are unique to AUC, from the library, from laboratory facilities, from international faculty members. Even if they are Egyptian nationals, they're internationally educated. But also from quite a vibrant student life for those graduate students who are interested in participating in student life, the beautiful campus, etc. On another level, individual programs have their strengths. There is a big diversity of programs at AUC at the graduate level. So as has been mentioned in the report, there are 44 programs and master's programs and 2 PhD programs. So they cover a lot of disciplines, science and engineering, graduate studies in education, humanities and social science, business and finance and economics, also all the different programs in law, public policy, public administration. So it's a big diversity that caters for different needs and different tastes of potential graduate students.
Okay. Are there any plans to have more PhD programs?
The idea of PhD programs is attractive, but PhD programs generally require resources. The 2 PhD programs that have been established a number of years ago in science and engineering were funded by an external donor. The entirety of the programs were funded by external donor, and this is what facilitated the establishment of these programs. You know, the idea of having PhD programs, of course, is very attractive, but there needs to be careful consideration about their costs and how the costs will be covered, etc.
Okay, what are the plans for developing faculty qualifications, staff, and resources for graduate studies programs?
Well, when it comes to faculty members by default, if they're at AUC, this means that they actually have excellent qualifications to be at university, to teach at the level of the graduate and undergraduate studies. Of course, for graduate programs, the majority of our programs, or a big percentage of our programs, are thesis-based. So this means that a graduate student would need to complete a thesis to be able to obtain his or her master's degree. Not all programs are such, but most of them are. And therefore, faculty need to be actively involved with guiding the students through the thesis research process, whether they are writing about a topic in philosophy, or doing experiments in nanotechnology, or conducting case studies in education, or you know, public policy, etc. Faculty being well established in their field is very useful, and having expertise in their own disciplines also may add very much to the graduate program they're in.
While we was covering the event, I met an international student who would like to do his postdoctoral studies in our university. Can we have postdoctoral studies in AUC?
Well, postdoctoral positions are not necessarily studies. So basically, a postdoctoral position is occupied by somebody who's obtained their PhD already. And typically, they would be associated to a university or an academic institution for conducting research beyond their doctoral studies, beyond their PhD, before they occupy a position of a faculty member. So currently at AUC, there are a number of postdoctoral positions that are associated with teaching as well as some research. But there are discussions currently that are led by the Associate Provost for Research and the University Research Board to see how to enhance further positions for postdoctoral fellows.
Okay. According to the QC World Ranking, we are number 365th globally. How can we have a higher rank as a university?
Well, ranking, typically there are different types of rankings, and there are rankings of the university as a whole, and there are rankings of individual programs by different entities. So basically the ranking is, different rankings are based on different criteria and different ways of measuring these criteria.
Okay.
So one thing that is important is to have the data that are needed for these different criteria and communicate them to the ranking entities. The other issue, of course, is the ranking is always relative. So we might, a university might, advance or enhance its different programs, but other universities that would enhance their programs better would improve in ranking, and therefore you'd find that your institution gets lower in ranking or not as high in ranking as anticipated. Because it's all relative, it means that as an institution we need to continuously be reviewing our academic offerings, graduate and undergraduate, performing better in research, but also being aware of the different parameters that different ranking entities use for the ranking, and be sensitive to these and see how we can actually continuously enhance them.
Okay. How many students we are looking forward to recruit in graduate studies for the coming semester?
Well, we'd like to recruit as many as possible. What we've had is that there are about 350 students or potential students that have attended the open house. There was, for the fall semester, there are 2 admission cycles, one in February and one in April. Already I'm noticing that for the February cycle, there is a significant increase in the number of students applying. We're hoping that the trend will continue for the April cycle, and we're quite excited, or very excited, that the numbers of international applicants is increasing, it's recovering. So this will contribute, if we manage to convince these applicants to join AUC when they are accepted and offered admission offers. That will increase the diversity on campus, and that actually will go towards the internationalization of the campus.
Okay. We know that your passion is in chemistry. Doesn't new responsibilities take you away from your passion?
Well, to a certain extent, it took me away from some of the research I was conducting. I don't have as much time as before to conduct as much research as I did before, although I've managed to keep a number of graduate students. So I'm supervising a number of graduate students completing their masters and their PhDs. So this is exciting. But I also make it a point of teaching a course every semester. So in the fall semester, I teach a graduate course. And in the spring semester, I teach an undergraduate course to remain in contact with the student body. I mean, at the end of the day, I consider this is the reason I'm at university, to actually contact students, be in contact with them, actually lecture and teach, okay, as well as the administrative duties that I have to conduct.
Okay. Is there a certain or exact research that you would like to do in the future? You still don't
well, what I've been involved in the past number of years is nanoporous material. And nanoporous materials are materials that actually have pores or openings and that have a number of applications, primarily environmental. Okay. And with colleagues from different departments at AUC, we've worked on developing membranes for desalination. So we've had a number of graduate students for the past 4 or 5 years working on desalination projects, developing the membranes and trying to tailor-make membranes for specific desalination applications. So it's exciting, and I hope that even though despite of the administrative duties, I'll be able to together with colleagues to really continue working on this.
We wish you all of luck, and wish
you
that you will do all your research in the future. Thank you, and we are really happy having you with us today.
It was a real pleasure, and best of luck. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our show. You can watch this episode again on our YouTube page, Adham Center AUCTV. Thank you for being with us, and good night.
خالد داوود AUCTV
لتلفزيون الجامعة الأمريكية يسري فودة طنطا.
ونبدأ بالعناوين. الآثار المصرية تنتقل طوابير أنابيب الغاز تنتقل من الشوارع إلى الهوادي.
Because my first intention, this position or even this position, out of the camera.
Why are you contrasting with the script? Anybody read the script?
Yeah, go. 5, 4, 3, 1.
Awkward choice. Writing skills are more likely to be under.
This is Sally Andy for AUCTV.
Namaste.
Demonstrate their discontent. One such demonstration took place in Mahadi.
Show me the evidence, okay? If you're going to say something, prove it. The executive producers got to crack the whip. Remember what I said the very first class? Lots of close-ups. It helps you tell the story.
Each item silently carries a story of its own and an essence of the time that no longer exists.